Hey, lock in. Here's everything you need to know about Sudan. Well, maybe not that. Maybe not. Here's this. We're talking Sudan. Okay, Sudan became an independent nation in the 1950s. Gained independence in the 50s. Before that, here's self-stand in a good place. Here's an image of where Sudan is. Here are the influences that have been upon Sudan pre-independence. Lots of Arab influence given the location that she's directly across the street from Saudi Arabia and the Arab world because along the Red Sea. Also Egypt to the north. Also the Ottoman Empire, so Turks and the British, okay? Gained independence from the British in the 50s. Now, upon gaining independence, there has been conflict ever since. This is not a reflection of the people of Sudan, not in the slightest. It is simply a reflection of, here's what happens when you colonize people for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, and then you're like, all right, bro, do your thing. What? You think it's gonna go well? Please. Like, oh my God. Independence in the 50s. Then there are military coups that are ousting governments. In 1958, 1969, 1985, and 1989. In 1989, the military coup was of the government, who then instated himself, was a man called Omar al-Bashir. He is in control for 30 years, from 1989 until 1989 to 2019. Al-Bashir knows what time it is, bro. He's like, listen, if there's one thing we do around these parts, it's oust a leader when we're tired of him. He was in office for very long. So he was good homegirls with the Sudanese Armed Forces, which is the legitimate military of Sudan. And it's called the SAF, which is also, it's led by a man called Burhan. During his 30-year dictatorship, really, the Sudanese Armed Forces were used to quell uprisings. It was pretty fucking brutal. In the South, which then, ended up resulting in the creation of South Sudan as its own independent nation, the youngest nation on earth, became its own country in 2011. Now, meanwhile, there's shit popping up in the west of Sudan as well. The western part of Sudan is the Darfur region. Do you remember in the early 2000s, like when you were young and you would hear about Darfur, what's going on? I'm shit you not, it's this. Again, I'll tell you. Well, not even again, bro. The shit never stopped. Okay. Conflict in the west because the Sudanese Armed Forces was busy in the south. So, in the west, Omar al-Bashir, the one in charge, finds himself funding a rebel group that he uses to quell conflict, do ethnic cleansing, in the Darfur region. This militia group that he funds is, at the time, called the Janjaweed. It is led by a man who Omar al-Bashir gave the nickname of my protector. He's called Hemedti. Apparently, it's a play on the word Hemedti, which I guess means my protector in Arabic. Now, this was also strategic on Omar al-Bashir's part because he says military coups are a thing. So let me also have, essentially, my own security force, my own militia group. And I know they're really, lethal because of what I saw happen in the early 2000s, he thinks to himself. So he funds them and he legitimizes them so they're no longer just like this fucking ragtag militia. He says, you're a legitimate paramilitary group. However, we do need to do some rebranding and you girls are going to be called the Rapid Support Forces. The RSF. He gave them fucking legitimacy. Well, there's all kind of civil unrest and things in the later 2000s. So Burhan, leader of the SAF, and Hemedti, leader of the RSF, link up real quick when they see that the civilians are fucking over Omar al-Bashir, because al-Bashir is like, if somebody overthrows me, it's going to be one of the two. And they were like, what if we link up? And they did. The civilians were very, happy that Omar al-Bashir was ousted. However, they were also because the citizens of Sudan knew we cannot trust either one of these two guys. So then all kind of foreign actors, the Saudi Arabia, United States, United Kingdom, United Arab Emirates, and I think the African Union, at least for one of the peace sharing treaty situation things, they were like, no, ¿cómo se llama? SAF guy is going to be the chair, and then Hemedti is going to be vice chair. Girl, Hemedti's not about to play second fiddle and be cool with it. So again, the citizenry of Sudan was like, this isn't gonna work, this isn't gonna work, this isn't gonna work. And then all kind of outside foreign intervention is like, you guys don't know what you're talking about. Clearly they do. So now, essentially what is happening is, Hemedti was given legitimacy and also a lot of money because he's been exploiting the fuck out of the Darfur region and slaughtering its people. And he is shipping all the gold to the United Arab Emirates, who then sell it for the money that it's actually worth, but it should be the people in Sudan that are making the fucking money off of the gold. And then the United Arab Emirates sends him and the RSF, that's how they get weapons. To the nations outside of Africa, the exploitation, ethnic cleansing, genocide, and overall fucking horrendous treatment of the people of Africa is like a business model. This shit is a genocide, what is happening in Sudan, okay? And the reason that Hemedti is doing this, as far as I can understand, like the western part of the region, it's not even a big population of folks really, but like some people don't speak Arabic. They are Sudanese. They share the same religion as Hemedti. They just don't speak the same language. But I also I don't think he's really being like discriminating against who's not getting killed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's kind of just a fucking free-for-all. Anyway, I spoke on the phone sometime last week with my new friend, Noelle, who was displaced from a bunch of different countries and then eventually found themselves in a refugee camp in South Sudan. They were evicted from this refugee camp with a group of other young people because of their queer identity. Noelle is like kind of championing this group. I asked them, why do you think, you became like the parent of the group? And they said, I think it's because I speak good English, blah, blah, blah. That's so beside the point. But if you are able to or want to help, I'm going to put Noelle's link where they usually go. You know where that will be. And other links about how you can get involved with helping folks in Sudan. Oh, and if Manchester City is your football club, not anymore. Because the guy who owns Man City is Hemedti's homegirl. Bitch, and how about Hemedti's brother was in fucking DC the other day, bro? These are fucking war criminals. This is... I feel like I'm losing my mind sometimes. Most times.